It's 3 o'clock. You know what we do. We go live. I'm at Blue Ridge Winery, where the mission here is always to add value to your life. Thanks for being here. My name is Randy. I'm not on the mountain. I'm back at the winery. Guys, oh my God, I'm loving life. You know, last week, did you see the video where I did the talk skiing down the hill? People go, how do you do that, guys? I can ski better than I can walk. I grew up with it. It doesn't take any thought. But that was so much fun, right? When you're afraid, do it afraid. You know, fear, we live on the edge of our comfort zone. That's where life is supposed to be. Mary Wayne, I see you. What's happening? And guys, there's actually a race happening today. It's in Maine. And I'm not all about racing in the rain, so I drove home. Gerald, I see you. Look at that. Wayne and Wayne. The Wayne team is here. I love you guys. What's going on? So Ken's back. What's happening, Ken? I can't wait to see you, dude. This summer is going to be so spectacular. We have so many major events happening at Blue Ridge. There's barrel festivals. There's fireworks shows. I mean, everything upon everything. And guys, if you haven't gotten a copy of my book yet, grab the book. You know, if you Google it, there's reviews everywhere. You know, I haven't Googled it recently. But oh my God, I was humbled yesterday because I was talking to someone up at the mountain and they go, oh, you got a book? And I go, yeah, let me find it. And I Google it. I'm like, wow, look at all these websites. They're doing reviews on it. I'm so grateful. What's happening? I see you. So today's talk, I'm going to tell you a story about ski racing. I hope you love this. Because, you know, I'm going to talk about a trick to access your everyday courage. You know, courage is an everyday thing. It's not a big event thing because you got to win small if you want to win big, right? You with me on this? So ski racing. I'm at the start, right? And a friend asked me, he goes, hey, do you ever worry about something tragic happening during the run? I'm like, oh my God. Like, absolutely, all the time. I mean, you're in a ski race where there's 4 guys in the race. You're going over jumps you can clear a house, these giant jumps, and you can get tangled up, and there's people always getting hurt. So there's always those negative thoughts that kind of want to stream into your head, and they want to take over. I'm going to show you a trick that you can hijack the hijacking. You can basically just kick it right out of your head. And I go, yeah, the negative side of my mind, it's always trying to hijack the positive side of my mind. Paula, I see you. What's happening? I like that. Hello, everyone. In fact, last week, guys, I was at a race at Gore, New York. And the way it played out is the guy right in front of me, we're doing our time trials, right? And the guy right in front of me pulls out. And on the very first feature, which is right in front of me, he falls really hard, lands on his shoulder. He broke his shoulder. Tina, what's happening? The guy breaks his shoulder and his collarbone. And his collarbone's like pushing up through his skin, right? And there I stand in the start, and I'm seeing this play out. And then ski patrol comes along, and they're putting him in the gurney, and they're trying to get him out of the way so I can go. So how do you control your mind in that moment? How do you maintain a positive attitude that I'm going to rock this course and I'm not going to let what I'm seeing here play out, right? I'm not going to let that get on the inside of me. So picture, right? How can I not let the negative side of my mind take over the positive side of my mind? There's a trick that you can circumvent this. It's called the 5-second rule. You ever hear of it? The 5-second rule. It comes from Mel Robbins. She wrote the book called The 5-Second Rule. If you've ever listened to it or read it, highly recommend it. It's great stuff. The 5-second rule. Here's how it works. When you have thoughts of doubt, fear, or any moment that you're pausing, you may be that you're not speaking up. Anything that you're frozen in time and fear is taking over, what you do is you go like this. You go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And you take action. Because the part of your brain that controls this stuff is called the neocortex. And you can hijack it. You see, the negative thoughts come in. No one can prevent that. My name is Randy, guys. I have negative thoughts. But the key is, can you control those negative thoughts? And a great tool, Andrew Knapp, I see you, dude. What's going on, man? The tool is this. When you're aware of that negative thought, you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. There's a reason that when they launch rockets off, they do a countdown. Because once you hit 0, there's nowhere to go but go. You can't count up. You can't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because 6 comes next. But when you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go, you can use this for getting out of bed in the morning. When your alarm goes off, if you hit the snooze button, you just lost the first thing in the day. Never hit that button because it's the first failure of the day. But the moment it goes off and you don't feel like getting out of bed, you go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we go. And we step out of bed, right? This works for everything. It can work if you're sitting in a classroom, you're in college, you're at work, and you have an idea, and the managers and bosses are talking, or does anybody else have an idea? And you have a crazy idea, but there's this thing in you going, oh my God, I'm too scared. I shouldn't speak up. Just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand goes up, and you say your idea. It'll change your life. My mom called it the Do It Now program. She says, when you're afraid, just do it afraid. But I like to say this. Being afraid and being excited is the exact same thing, isn't it? Excitement and fear, it's the same feeling, really. This is why they have haunted houses, and people pay to go in there to be afraid. They're not being afraid. They're being excited. It's exciting, right? So instead of you thinking of it as fear, think of it as excitement. So when you're excited, just do it excited. It changes the game. This thing works. And I proved it in that moment. Because in that moment, there's a guy being hauled off. I love the hearts. You guys are with me on this, right? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Or 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, change the image in our head. So with this thing with this guy, Reckon here, I love the hearts. I had to change the picture in my head. So what I did was, my mind has this image of a guy being put into a gurney and being pulled off the slope with all busted up body. And I don't want that image in my head as I'm pulling out of the gate. So I go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I instantly picture myself bursting through the finish line with my arms in the air. And guess what happens 60 seconds later? That exact image in your head. You will get exactly what you project. Our eyes are not only seeing devices, but they're projecting devices. You see on the outside what is happening on the inside. As within, so without. And this rule can change your life. My mom called it the Do It Now program. She would always say that. She'd go, Randy, we're on the Do It Now program. Do it today. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. In fact, she had this thing where she would tell me, before we go to bed at night, Randy, I want you to say 50 times before you fall asleep, do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now, do it now. And go to bed thinking that thought. And then when you get up in the morning, you're on fire for life. Because you programmed your mind to do it now. The 5-second rule. It can change your life. It's changed my life. Until I read this whole thing, I love the hearts. Until I read Mel's book, I never had a name for it. But, my mom had me practice it the whole time. The distance between what we have in life and what we want in life, it's called cognitive dissonance. It's the gap between what we want to say and what we do say. It's the gap between the life we want to live and the life we are living. And this cognitive dissonance, the bigger the gap, the more unhappy we are. And this is why we should say what we need to say to who we need to say it in the moment. Because when we don't say things like that, when we don't speak our mind, what happens is it begins to boil inside of us and it bubbles up, right? I love that, John. All is well. Oh my God, it couldn't be better on every level. Holy cow. Things begin to bubble up. And then something else happens and you want to say something and you don't and you hold it in and then it bubbles up a little bit more. And just like that pot on the stove that just slowly starts to bubble and simmer, and if you don't relieve that pot lid, eventually it'll bubble over and spill all over the stove. And that's exactly how we are. It's called cognitive dissonance. You got to say what you need to say. You got to act the way you need to act. You need to do what you need to do to live the life that you were meant to live. So whenever you feel afraid or you feel a hesitation, we're all going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And we're going to take action. I love y'all. Thanks for being here today. I hope it added value to your life. See you guys.